Hello and good day to you. Today's video, we are demonstrating the use of stencil in making a corner design in our stenciling technique of 12 crafts of card making. For this project, we need a masking tape. We need a card. I'm using A4 hammered card. Texture is hammered. Size A4. And the grounds 300. We'll be using sketch pens to trace. If you have liner pen, you can use them because we just need the effect of those pens. So I'm using the sketch pens for the silhouette. Yeah, the silhouette electronic cutting sketch pen. You can use liner pen. If you don't have liner pen, you can use your normal writing pens to practice, and then when you have perfected it, you can now get some liner pens and use any color you want. There are some of the colored ones, you can go with that. We just need that thin effect because this card we're going to create. I've not finished working on this. I was just to show you what you're going to do. You're going to use lines. It's that's line art. Lines in drawing is in trend now. So instead of coloring it, you fill in with lines. You can do it digitally, you can do it manually. It's optional. Okay, we don't need glue. I'm not gluing, so I don't need glue. Let me remove that. We need a scoreboard. This is the Crafter's Companion big scoreboard. We need it with a scoring tool. We need craft knife, a Zato knife. That's optional. If you want to, we're going to use it to cut around, just a little around the petals and let them flutter to give the effect of not all the petals, just some of the petals. We won't cut around this middle one, we just cut around the others just to give it that effect. So I'll make sure I omit those tiny ones when I'm designing. So you need the stencils. I'm using two stencils. The first one I'm using is a camellia stencil. I don't know if you can. Okay, and this is a flower. Let me try and put it over something that. Okay. So this is a camellia stencil for the flower. Then I'll be using the leaf stencil and this leaf stencil. The product number is WM30731E. So I'll be using that. I can have a leaf along my flower. I want my flower to have leaves. So I'll add just one leaf here. And this is the inner one. I'm not finished. I'm still working. Just want to use it as some corner design. I think that's all. So let's start designing. I'll just put everything aside. Okay, lastly, which is the most, if you're going to cut with the knife, you will need if you're going to cut with the knife, you will need a crafting mat. You can use a self-healing mat so that when you cut, it heals. Place this stencil on the card. I've placed the card landscape wise, and I'm going to place the stencil, the leaf stencil, then trace around it with a green sketch pen. I won't trace the stalk, that's because the flower is going to go over the stalk, and I don't want it showing. You know, I'm going to use lines to and you have to be careful when tracing, since you are filling with lines. We don't make mistakes. So I've just traced, sorry I didn't go closer. I've just traced the leaf design with a green sketch pen. I'm going to use the pinkish purple to trace the flower design. You can decide any of the flowers to trace. You don't have to trace all of them. Now the pen is small, so it's difficult for you seeing what I'm doing. Made a little mistake there. I'm going to work around it when you can use masking tape. Sorry, I forgot I was supposed to use masking tape to tape the stencil so that I do not move. That's why my hand is there. If not, it won't have. Alright, so okay, no idea. Oh, okay. Let me see if I can line it properly now. Alright, that's fine. I've lined it. I forgot to. Okay, I've traced it. I'm going to use the blue for the stamens or stamens. Let me see if I can remove it. I'll use this for the steel blue. I'll use it for the stamens, and so I'll work on this side first. We have to work on both sides. You work on the let's work on the front and work on the inside or the inside of the card. So if I'm just going to so before I start working on that, I want to score. So I'll place the card. If you have other score, but I think it's on the is it A5 half fold or so? But just if you have any other one that can get a groove. Let's see this one. Alright, I think this one can get me a groove here. So just cut on any line before the design. And we'll draw the other design here. So we need other design to note where we're going to put our fold and then draw the design, this inner design. So just going to burnish this. We'll still open it when we are drawing, and then we'll draw on this other part. So I'll work on this part first. Need to fill in, and when you're working on the leaf, there's something you need to note there. When you're working on the leaf, I made a mistake here. I just went on another part, but if you notice, this one is nicer. It's nicer because I went well here, just doing some strokes. That leaf went to the left, from the right to the left here, and from the right here to the right. Is it? No, from the left to the right, sorry. From the left to the right, from right to the left on one side. So it's nicer than this other one. I just went zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. Zigzag, zigzag. So you have to practice, then your leaf will turn out right. Because your lines, we are using lines, if you make a mistake, it will be noticeable. So you can see this. What I normally do, as I did that in digital too. What I normally do is I'll draw a line from the middle and let the line be curvy, because if your lines are curvy, it gives a kind of dimension that the leaves are coiling. It gives one kind of 3D dimension to the leaves. It shows the direction of the veins, and it's nice when the lines are coily or curvy than curvy, sorry, not coily, curvy than when it's just a straight line. It gives an interesting look to it. Now you can see that the leaves, the lines of those flowers, they are curvy. What I normally do, as I said earlier, I just draw a line from the middle, and that will aid you to complete one part, and then you can complete the other part following that same line stroke. Same here. You draw a line, long vertical line. If you want to use short lines, that's fine. You just follow it, and then you're able to do that. If you want to cut, it's nice for you. I'll prefer if you cut first before you start doing your lines. That's because when you don't want to start cutting and smearing your work when you finish making the line. So since I'm gonna cut this, I'm just gonna, don't know if we can, okay, I don't know if it's close enough. Okay, so since there's a front and I want the petals to flutter, I'm just going to use the X-Acto knife to cut, but I won't lift it. I'll just cut. I'll lift one to show you. I'm not cutting out the petal. I'm just cutting from one end to the other end. And I'm leaving the middle where it's attached to the card or to the other petal. I'll do about one or two and I'll show you. Then we'll start coloring. Okay, so this is it. Just a small semicircle. You don't have to complete an arc. So it's still attached. So we're gonna lift them, and then you have it. But if you don't want to cut, that's fine. I just want to tell you that there are other techniques that you can do. And when cutting, and when you're cutting, you have to make sure that you cut after the line. Or should I say after the stroke? Okay. This is the second one. So I've just cut, still attached. The bottom is still attached, just around the arc. We just want a little arc around it so that we can lift the petals. It's as if the petals are coming out of the page. We just want the dimension, want to create a dimension so that when, let me cut one here, so that when you look, if you design like this, it's just to prevent it from smudging. That's why I said don't cut after you finish sketching your design. So I'm just gonna cut around this one, because if you're gonna cut, I prefer if you cut before you start designing so that you don't smudge your work. So they're going to lift like so from the page. You want it to lift. Although if it's still flat, it gives that 3 dimension when you use the lines and make your lines curvy, as I said earlier. If you want to, you can do so. So what I'm going to do is that we're going to start the lines. I want us to go very close to, okay, you can see our petals. So I'm going to work on the petals, the one I, for this middle one, what I'm going to do is that if you want to, you can fill some stamens there. So I'm just gonna fill. Sorry about the pen, I know it's getting in the way. And then with wherever the petal meets, just form a line, a thin line. You're not cutting the middle flower, so just form a thin line, a curvy line too, to demarcate one petal from the other. So it's not more plain like so. We now have it like so. And we'll draw one line, curvy line, as I said, through the middle of one of the petal. And draw another one. If you don't lift your if you don't lift your pen, it's easier to go into from one to the other. But it might create a mess, a fuzzy line if you are not careful. So some people just prefer lifting, it's optional, they just go from up to down to create. Just enjoy your artwork. We just want to create. Line art is in trend now. So that's the effect we're going to make. Just going to go. And make sure the lines are not too close to each other. Not too close, but they should be close. Because if, okay, let me show you this one. This one, the spacing is too, the second one, this other one, the spacing is too much. If you want that effect, you can go for it. But if you want it to be, you want the space to be very thin, you can do that. Remember, you are the designer. Remember a curving line in the middle, and then follow the pattern to the left, then you follow it to the right. So keep on in that. Let's finish this one, then I'll do the leaves. I just do one more, then we'll do the leaves. I know this one to take time. It's not like coloring in that just float. It's coloring in, but using lines. But it takes time. Although you can be fast when you are used to it. If you want to, you can do one in, you can digitize it. You can take it into a digital cut, sorry, a digital cutter that can use pen. Put in the pen and it will fill it. Just you can first of all do one design and then let the digital cutter trace the design and fill it. So when you create one with your hand manually, you can digitize the others and then the digital cutter, you can scan it in to your computer and open it in your graphic software and let the digital cutter do the tracing for you. Then if you want to make mass-produced cards, that's an option. But before you digitize someone's stencil, please do contact them. The nice thing about this, even if you're not using stencil, is that you can take an image, trace around, use your camera, take a picture, trace around the picture, just have the outline of the picture and you fill it. I have videos on this, on how to digitize, use even a graphic software to digitize to do this line art. I use Clip Studio Paint. You can use any software that has the pencil tool to do it. You can even vectorize it, turn it into vectors. So for the middle, I'm going to do that now. Okay, so take the green now and do the leaves. So for the leaves, I'm going to go vertical. Oh, it says vertical, sorry, horizontal, but curvy. So for this other side of the leaf, I'm just going to turn it, and this, let me see, okay. So what I do is that I fill one part and leave one blank. Fill the first, leave the second one blank. Or you fill one, leave two blank. And anyone not properly done, you can go back later and do them, but don't rush over. There are some mistakes that you can rectify. So we finished one side of the leaf. One side looks lighter, as if a light is coming from the left, and the other side looks darker. So we need to, I'll still trim this. I'll trim that, go with the craft knife and go around it. What I'm going to do, I just want to trace the inside. So for the inside, I'll draw the flower first, but I'll use a different color of pen. Why I'm using a different color of pen is I'm almost running out of pen of color. So I just trace around. Oh, it's not working properly. Let me use a different one. The one that's okay. And I'm supposed to stick with my masking tape. I didn't do that. Now I have to hold the stencil all through. Uh-oh. Okay, so that's the flower. I'm going to trace the leaf now, but without the stalk. I'm using a smaller leaf because this is the inside of the card. So and I can flip this leaf, so I'm gonna flip. flipping the stencil, turn it to add the stock. Let me see, okay. So here I've drawn the leaf. Although I made a mistake here, I'm going to rectify it when I'm shading. My hands were covering and I couldn't see from this side. I couldn't see what I was tracing. If I had stuck it with a masking tape, I would have gone through those rigors. So now we've done this, I'll just leave that. I'll continue doing this off camera so that you can, I'll just start cutting around it because I'm just trying to, for those that want to quickly finish their work. So I'm going to be So I've finished cutting around and you can see it's lifted. Let's take a closer look. I didn't cut the middle, but if you want to, you can cut it. Let me see. Hope I don't make mistake. Let me see if it's I can cut it out properly. I'm just going to leave that. I'm just going to leave the middle in like so. Let me push the others out. I'm not filling with beads or any other embellishment because for this design I'm not filling the design with beads or adding any other embellishment because for this is just a technique video just to show you the technique. I want to really enhance the technique without having to dive into here and there until we have completed that exact technique and we are compiling or combining, maybe or combining stenciling and photograph digital craft. Then we can do both of the technique or stenciling, digital craft and stitching or embellishment. Then we can combine those ones. I just don't want to involve them in this because these videos are just only they are technique videos. Just if you want to learn the technique, that's what the video is about. I can use yellow. Let me see if I can use yellow. Right. So for this one, I made a mistake here. I'm just going to fill it to make it straight. If I had a darker color, I would have used a darker color so that it's like a shadow there. So you see where I made the mistake? I shaded it to make it darker because I made two lines there, which can see this is a bit rough. I'll look for a darker pen and go over it later, but I don't have any darker one now. Let me start from the top so that I don't cover up the work. So I finished it, and you can see how our design is. This is the inside of the flower, and this is the front of the flower. So let's take a look at it. So here's the inside of the card. If you want to, if you don't want to leave it blank, you can print before you start designing. Also, you can make your own template. You can even, okay, because you've trimmed the card, it's nice for you to print before you start designing, so that it can fit through your printer. Because we've done this fluttering design here, it would be better if you print before you start designing, if you want to put words here. But if you want to leave it blank, that's fine. It's all right. If you want, you can put different color of cards. You can make borders. But as I said earlier, these are just techniques. We just want you to learn the various techniques. But I have a peel off here. I'm going to put the peel off. I have one peel off. I just saw it now. I'm just going to put. If you want, should I say best memories? Okay, I'm just going to put sticker. I would have printed. It's better for me to print. Just put some word in here or sentiment there. So I'm going to look for, okay, let me use this one and say best memories. All right. So here's our card. I like the fluttering effect here on the petals. It's nice. Let's take a closer look. And the lines really enhance the leaves and the petals. As I said earlier, you can use liner pen. So thanks for joining me for this video of 12 crafts of card making. The technique of stenciling used as a corner greeting card design. You can visit the blog AninoOgunjobi.com to see what's happening in the crafting industry. Until then, happy crafting. Bye for now. Thank you.